Suspended disbelief. Suspended disbelief. Suspended disbelief.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Suspended Disbelief. I am your host, and we're going to jump right into it. On this episode, we're talking about artificial intelligence and robotics. The rise of the machines. Boston Dynamics. Those are the guys that have been leading the way in creating these robots. The dog robot, the little four, looks like a robot dog. And the humanoid robot that dances, backflips, all types of stuff. And these guys have came a long way. I think they started with MIT and then broke off and started doing these robots. But they've came a long way. So I got a little clip about Boston Dynamics. Here we go.
Changing your idea of what robots can do. That's the slogan of Boston Dynamics. Founded in 1992 by Mark Raybert as a spin-off company from MIT, its early days were spent making training videos for the Navy. Only later did the company begin delving into the world of robots, amassing a level of expertise unsurpassed throughout the industry. In fact, Boston Dynamics' achievements look like the opening montage from a science fiction movie. Starting with the cumbersome Big Dog, a quadruped robot designed for the military, the company has seen each new generation of robots surpass the last in a relentless fashion. Sometimes their announcements leave you a little more unnerved than impressed.
Yeah, let's stop that right there. Every generation of these robots are way better than the previous one. And he said at an alarming pace that this stuff is progressing. But I'm here to tell you, with the help of AI, they're going to be cranking out robots left and right. See, artificial intelligence makes all of these industries smarter. So the problems that they were running up against over the last 10 years, AI is just going to help them along. Making decisions, and hey, you can do it faster and smarter, and before you know it, they'll be rolling off the assembly line like that movie I, Robot. And, you know, we talked about some movies in a couple of episodes, but this movie's about these robots and how you're going to start seeing them all through your life. You might see one at your job. You might see one walking with a police officer, with a SWAT team. You know, they're going to be implementing these robots in all walks of life. Imagine one of these dogs walking up and down your neighborhood, just like a police officer used to do way back in the days, walk the beat. You know. Anyway, let's proceed.
Let's take a look at this family, or rather, super army of robots. First, we've got Spot, the direct descendant of Big Dog. Unlike its granddaddy, Spot is as graceful as it is precise. With effortless and unprecedented mobility, Spot can safely navigate almost any terrain. It's perfectly suited for tasks involving routine inspection and data capture. And, even better, the the whole process can be automated. Spot can also be fitted with a robotic arm. It contains an LED illuminator and a 4K camera, so it can inspect an object before picking it up. In short, if Spot wants to go for a walk, it'll open the door and take itself.
Yeah, let's stop that right there. And like I said, we had been talking about, movies. But this particular show is called Black Mirror. I forget if it's on Netflix. I think it's on Netflix. And it was one particular episode called Metalhead, I believe. And it was similar to the four-legged dog that they have here. But in that episode, they look more like a dog-sized four-legged cockroach. But this thing had weapons. It had tracking device. It thought for itself. It was crazy. But it's called Metalhead. If you ever get a chance, show is called Black Mirror. And that was called Metalhead. Here we go.
Of course, the star of the show is the back-flipping Atlas, the most advanced humanoid robot in the world. Originally unveiled in 2013, the build has undergone serious upgrades since its initial reveal. Back then, DARPA program manager Gil Pratt compared Atlas to a child, saying, "A 1-year-old child can barely walk. A 1-year-old child falls down a lot." This is where we are right now. Almost a decade after, Atlas is now fully functional. The 5-foot-tall robot weighs 190 pounds and involves 28 hydraulic joints. It has a top speed of 2.5 meters per second, using complex algorithms to negotiate diverse and dynamic situations. To achieve such accurate motion, the team at Boston Dynamics relied on creating behavior libraries to help generate complex routines and better achieve trajectory optimization. Altogether, this super army of robots is an impressive achievement. But what does all this mean for us?
What does all this mean for us? What it means is you're going to have robots replace police officers. Not in that RoboCop type of movie where it's half man, half machine. Nah, you're gonna have these little dogs, these little robot dogs with cameras and maybe weapons and arms on them. Patrolling the streets. It's cheaper than a human. You won't have that human failure. Like these police shootings and beating people to death. You're not going to quite have that. So it's cheaper. Bottom line is cheaper. It's cheaper to have drones. It's cheaper to have these robots. They don't need days off. They don't go home. They're right there on the job. Charge their batteries and they gone. So you're going to need a lot less people in security, in policing. It's just natural how technology takes jobs. Here we go.
There is a darker side to all this. The company began very much with a military focus, creating essentially mechanical pack animals for troops. It's not hard to see Atlas and envision a robotic super soldier without the weakness of a human, never needing sleep, rest, food, or water. However, such soldiers would lack the heart and morality of a human too. Still, it should be said Boston Dynamics are strictly against weaponizing its machines. Other manufacturers are much less squeamish, however. US firm Ghost Robotics showcased a quadruped robot equipped with a custom gun on its back in one domineering display. Ghost's four-legged machines are already being tested by the US military, paving the way for future robotic recruits. It's led some groups to call for a preemptive ban on robotic soldiers and military machines. Whether these lethal autonomous weapon systems, or laws, as they're known in the jargon, will ever see the battlefield remains to be seen. But if the advances of Boston Dynamics are anything to go by, it won't be long before robots rule our lives.
There you go. It won't be long before artificial intelligence and robots are all up in your life. AI watching everything you do, know everywhere you go, everything you say, and robots enforcing the law. So there you go. You know, all technology ain't good. I mean, artificial intelligence is gonna help humanity solve these big problems. Global climate change, food shortages, droughts. AI is smart, and they're gonna implement it into everything because it's smart and it will solve problems. But along with that, the negative side of it is you're gonna see AI become more independent. They just recently launched, I'll get into that in another show, but these AI systems have been deployed. They're on your phone, they're working behind the scenes, communicating with each other. Anyway, that's Boston Dynamics, and that's the stuff they're working on. And like you hear, Boston Dynamics, you know, that they have a policy that they're not going to create these things to be weapons, but it's other companies that will. It's like Tesla. Tesla comes out with the electric car, and it was okay, but it really was a poor car. It wasn't very well made. But these real car companies, they're coming out, they copied what Tesla did, and they implemented that technology into their vehicles, which are well-made vehicles. They're waterproof, you know, tested. But they're better vehicles, better electronic vehicles than Tesla. If I had money in Tesla, I would take it out. Tesla's gonna go the way of the DeLorean. Anyway, so that's it for this episode of Suspended Disbelief. Please like, share, and leave a comment, because this kind of stuff needs to be talked about. It's so much information every day. My little one show can't cover it all. But I'm going to try. I got a certain number of shows I'm going to do. And I think this is number 8. So thank you. I appreciate your time. And yeah, you know, leave a comment, share this show. And just for the record, if you made it to the end of this episode, every YouTube show, the very first shows, they look different, they sound different, they're a work in progress. So by the time you come along and you find a nice show, that show has been worked on and polished. But everybody's first shows, it was a work in progress. So I appreciate you hanging in there. And I will catch you on the next one. I will be back.
Suspended disbelief. Suspended disbelief. Suspended disbelief. Suspended disbelief. Suspended disbelief. Suspended disbelief. Suspended disbelief.